Look at him. Okay, here we are. Welcome to the garage. This is the new project. This is a trials bike. If you have not seen one of these or are not familiar with them, you can just type in trials on the internet on YouTube, and you can see what they do with trials bikes. Guys like Tony Bow and others who can just make these things do miraculous stuff. They're one of the best trainers for enduro because they can train you with confidence in wheelies and going over obstacles and things like that. That's not really why I got it. I got it more because I'm getting older and I thought this would be really great for something I can ride, not go very fast, a little bit less danger, do some trail riding, but also just ride in my own yard without going very far. Not like the enduro, you know, where you got to go fast most of the time to really enjoy it. And this is gonna, work on my skills, balance skills, and stuff like that as well. This is a Jotagas. Let me show the name on there to see it on the fork there. It's kind of a unicorn. They made these for a few years and then they went out of business, I think in like 2021. Hopefully they're still making parts. But this was a really great trials bike at the time. And really super high quality. You don't see a gas tank on it. It's because the gas tank is actually inside the aluminum frame. The whole bike weighs about 140 pounds, which is half what my FE 250 weighs. Well, no, a little. It's 100. Let's just say it's not half. It's 100 pounds lighter. So that means you can pretty much pick it up like a bicycle. You can move it around. I've got it on the stand there. This one doesn't have a kickstand. And there's some really interesting things about a trials bike. If you've never had one before, never ridden one, the back tire is tubeless, so you can run really low pressure. And you can see how they ran the spokes. They've got this rim around the inside that they connect the spokes to, and the spokes have a little tensioner in between them. Rather than just being on one end, it pulls them together as you tighten it, or pulls them apart as you loosen it, which is pretty cool. It's got this little tiny disc brake on there, which is about all it needs because you're not going very fast. This will go up to about probably 40 miles an hour, 45 in high gear, but it's made with a real low end torque. As you notice, this is a two-stroke, but you won't see an expansion chamber on there. An expansion chamber is something that gets the most top-end, high-end revolutions out of a two-stroke, where the vibrations of the engine come out and they bounce back to help regulate the intake and the exhaust, because there's no valves on it because it's a two-stroke. This whole muffler here is aluminum and runs inside of there, so you can actually grab this and it never really gets very hot, and it's super light. It's got a high quality shock. You can adjust your tension on your spring, your dampening, your rebound. It's really high tech. And then it's not very clean right now, sorry about that. And it's also got fully adjustable shocks on the front, but these shocks are not like enduro shocks or even adventure bike shocks. They can be very bouncy, so you can actually bounce the front tire back and forth as you balance. Again, if you watch some trials on the internet, you'll see how they do it. And there's some, I don't ever expect to be doing much bouncing, but I've already ridden it a few times, and it's really great. Normally they don't come with a seat. You can see this seat here. I actually ordered on the internet. They make a custom seat just for trials bike. It's actually stuck on with one little bolt and some Velcro in the front there. So normally, yeah, it looks like that without it, because you stand up most of the time. But if you want to do some trail riding, it's nice to be able to sit down, and it's a really compact seat. The ones they sell for these bikes are like $150, $160. Gosh, you know me, I didn't want to spend that much money, so I actually looked on Amazon, found a mini bike seat that looked exactly the same, and it was $24, maybe $24.99. So I saved $120, $30 getting that little tiny seat there, and it works really good. It's just enough so you can sit and relax for a minute, you know, but most of the time you're actually standing. If you notice how far back the foot pegs are, you can hit the front brake really easily, but it's out of the way. The shifter looks way out of place. Look how far forward. Look, this is where my foot sets. And you think, wait a minute, what's that shifter doing way up there? I can't even reach it, but you actually take your foot off the shift to go up and down. It's 1 down, 4 up. It's a 5-speed. But you need to be able to pivot on these. So you're not actually shifting that often. You set up your shifts before you hit your obstacles. And first gear is very low, very slow. And you run your tires at about 5 pounds. So again, this is a tubeless tire, but you see the pattern on the wheel. It's special trials. It's actually interesting. These are the original tires for this bike. It's a 2016. I got a super good deal on it because trials is really a niche, how do you say it, thing. And if you're not really into it, you might get bored with it really quick. I've already had a couple trials bikes when I was younger. Had some Honda, some called a TL 125, TL 250, something like that. And I really like them, but those are long gone. This is a 2-stroke. It's a 300, which is very big for a 2-stroke trials bike. It's like the pro level. It's not really what I would have preferred. I would have gone for 125 or 250 very quickly, but this is what was available. Here where I live in the Republic of Georgia, in Tbilisi, you don't get a lot of trials bikes. And I've been looking for a long time for one cheap, and this one had been sitting out for a while. You can see it's got this really beautiful polished aluminum, but it's been sitting out for a while, so it's gotten a little bit of corrosion on there. A little bit of oil, a little bit of even gasoline kind of takes that off. But it's meant to be a polished aluminum. It's really a beautiful bike. It's still got the original rear fender on it. These are made to get bent up when you fall over. These are actually little plastic tabs that pop out when it comes up and just holds on to one bolt. Because you do wheelie over a lot. Because you do a lot of wheelies, you're going over obstacles, and sometimes it's very easy to lose balance or get, especially with a 300, to get overpowered. So I don't know, it doesn't have a speedometer, it doesn't have a mile meter on it, so I have no idea how much is actually on it, but from the looks of the tires, and I looked up, these are the original tires that came with it, tells me that it hasn't been ridden much. And really, everything's in really good shape. You can see some of these falling down. There's some scrapes there on the header there. But other than that, it's great. Yeah, the headlight wasn't working. So I bought a new headlight, and it's not the original one. Again, I couldn't even find the original one, and they were super overpriced. So I just went to Amazon and got a little bit of a little tiny LED light and put that in there. There's no battery on it. It's completely kickstart. Because it's a 300, it does take quite a bit of kicking. I mean, you know, some pressure on the kicker. It usually starts first or second kick, but you got to jump on that thing. It's high compression. And so the headlight was missing, and the tail light was missing too. It's just this little bitty thing in there, and it's not even a brake light. It just lets people know that you're there. Maybe sometimes they come with brake lights, because when you're in trials, you don't want people running into the back of you, but you want also people to see you. And if I get caught out at night in the hills, it doesn't put out much light, but it's enough to let you see the trail and let other people see you as well. It's got fully hydraulic clutch. And it's a one finger clutch. That's what you're meant to do with trials, is just one finger. So you can see just how easy that is. I mean, I can do it with my pinky. It's got a hydraulic front brake. And it's interesting, the front brake uses hydraulic fluid, but the clutch actually uses mineral oil. You see that where it says that? It says use only mineral oil. I've never had a hydraulic clutch or brake that used mineral oil. So that's a little strange. Another interesting thing is the transmission uses special oil, but what a lot of trials writers recommend is ATF, automatic transmission fluid. So that's what I put in there, because it's about a fifth of the cost or a tenth of the cost as the regular oil. And use a lot of clutch when you're using a trials bike, so it's really good on that wet clutch. And also, it is a lubricating oil. If you think about an automatic transmission, it does have gears, and it has a lot of clutches. That's how an automatic transmission works on a car. So some people say, oh no, don't do that, but most of the guys I talked to and read about in the trials world said no, ATF is great. And I've been running it so far, changed the oil right away. Didn't look like it had been changed in a long time, if ever. And it's got a nice little window here for checking your oil. It's very convenient. And that's about all I've done. Changed the oil, I cleaned the air filter, checked the spark plug. Really easy to get to that spark plug. You can see it just sticks up right out of the top there, not like on the Husky, where you got to just about disassemble the bike to get to it. Again, here's the gas tank. Look, it's right there in the frame. Not all trials bikes are the same, but if you look at the gas, it's very similar. This is the Jotagas or J gas, and you'll still find some around, but they did stop making them. I'm not sure if another company is going to take it over or not. But most trials bikes are very similar. Single shock in the back. The old ones had dual shocks. Just top of the line everything. Aluminum, and it's hollow everywhere, so it's super light. Well, I just wanted to introduce you to my new friend here. My new project. I may keep it for a long time. I may sell it. I'm not really sure. Because I've got a few bikes in the garage now. Project bikes, and and all of them run, but I like to work on bikes and do videos on them. So unless you're really into trials, though, you may not be interested in this, but I'll try to do some shots where I'm actually riding it. But I would suggest watching other guys, again, like Tony Powell and excuse me, other guys. Really exciting, fun to watch, and again, very good for training, for balance, for overcoming obstacles, anything, a lot of stuff. Actually, some of the best enduro riders actually started off with trials. I mean, look it up. Some of the best guys. Paul, how do you say his name? Paul Torres. He does that crazy, rides that crazy Honda 700. What is it? The Tenere 700, and he rides it enduros and stuff. He started on trials. His brother as well is a very famous trials rider. And also Graham Jarvis started with trials. He's one of the best enduro riders there are. Yeah, if you have any questions about it or interested in it, write it in the comments. Let me know if you like it. I appreciate all the comments. It's always fun. A lot of people write in and ask questions about maybe the Husky or the KTM or the Ducati Scrambler. And yeah, I'll probably end up selling one of these. The garage is too full of bikes right now. And yeah, just recoup a little funds as well. Yeah, but let me know what you think. All right, have a great day. Blessings from here.